Hi, it's Amy Chappell from Embroidered Designs, and today we're here to talk about wrapping embroidery hoops with fabric. I love the finished look that this gives to our hoops. To begin, you're going to take a 3/4 inch by width of fabric, strip of fabric, and you're going to press under one long edge a scant 1/4 inch. It doesn't have to be exact or precise. You just need a good folded edge. Next, we're going to take our embroidery and we are going to remove it from the hoop. Now, if you are using a mechanical pencil or some other permanent means of transferring your pattern, you can wrap your hoop before you position and stitch your embroidery, and then you don't have to take it back out. But if you have used any kind of water-soluble method, whether it's a printable version or a water-soluble pen, you'll need to take it out anyway, and that's when we're going to wrap it. So if you're using a mechanical pencil, again, you can go ahead and wrap your hoop before you even start stitching. Okay, we're ready to wrap our hoop. We have it folded under, and I'm going to take my folded edge and I'm going to bring it up right next to my set screw here. I'm going to make sure that it comes underneath all the way. And if you have a hard time holding it in place as you're doing this first wrap, you can also put just a small dot of hot glue here to hold this edge in place. So I usually just hold it and then I'll bring it around and do one full loop around the hoop to secure that end in place. And I'm going to pull this fabric through. And now I'm going to do my next loop. I'm going to pull it tight and I'm going to pull it at an angle so that I'm traveling around the length of my hoop. So I'm going to pull that down and then I'm going to wrap it again. And again, you want to make sure that I try to butt it up next to the edge that has been folded under here, so I have a nice flat strip of fabric going all the way around. And every couple of times that I do a loop, I will pull the rest of the fabric strip through the hoop so that I don't get too much wrapped up as I'm going. So you're just going to keep doing that, pulling tight and pulling it at an angle as you wrap around the entire length of your hoop. And then once you have it to the end and you have about one more loop to go, I will take and fold under my raw edge. So I have two folded edges, and then I will bring and make sure that that folded edge, I try to start the fold underneath the hoop and then make sure that that folded edge comes up right next to my set screw here. And then I will bring it around to the back. And you want to make sure as you go to put your wrapped hoop back onto your embroidery that your wrap is coming out towards the back of your ornament. So if I were to put this on here and I found that it was pointing toward the front as I get to my end, just flip over your top again to make sure that your that it's coming out the back so that this little bit of raw edge gets covered by your backing on your hoop. So I'm going to hold this in place. I'm going to position my embroidery back over the center ring. I'm going to make sure that my set screw is at the top and center of my ornament. And then I'm going to push it back on. And you'll find it's a little tighter than it was now that we've added all this fabric around. You just want to make sure that, again, your fabric is nice and taut, but you're not distorting your pattern at all. If you have found that this fabric has bumped out a little bit, just give it a pull from the back, and then we'll trim off this extra fabric right up against the edge of this hoop. And then we're ready to go ahead and finish the rest of the back, which we'll cover in the next video. So you don't have to have a folded over edge. Here's another example where I just tore the strip of fabric, giving me a fun raw edge here. And it gives it just a little more casual look. You can also use ribbon, or in the case of this one, I used yarn to wrap it, and it gives it a nice textured look. So whatever you choose to do, you'll have a nice finished hoop for your ornament.